Hi guys, welcome to KP classes. In the previous video of this series of Constitution of India, we have discussed about what is preamble of Constitution of India. So in that video, we have discussed in detail that what is this Constitution of India is all about. Preamble is what? Preamble is just like an index which gives you an overview of the Constitution of India. Now in this second video, we are going to start with this fundamental rights. Now before understanding and going into articles, we'll be looking into that what is the history of the fundamental rights, where this fundamental rights is coming from. Then after that, article wise, we'll be understanding that what article gives what kind of rights, like what kind of rights is given in the Constitution of India. This is what we are going to understand in today's video. So if we talk about this fundamental rights, so we know that जो एंशियंट सोसाइटी थी, द एंशियंट सोसाइटी देयर यूज टू बी सप्रेशन. जो एशियन सोसाइटी होती थी वहां पे क्या था, देयर यूज टू एग्जिस्ट अ किंगडम एंड किंग यूज टू मेक लॉज which were binding on all the citizens which used to live in that kingdom, right? This used to be the previous society. So this story of fundamental rights, for the first time it came into being on what, on 1215, when King John has given certain fundamental rights to their citizens. But these rights were not, these rights were not absolute rights. These rights, there were certain restrictions which were being put on these fundamental rights. So this is the for the first time in the history, for the first time King John in 1215 has given certain qualified rights to their citizens. So this is the date, this is the year from which this story of fundamental rights has started. Now if I talk about which was the first country which introduced the concept of fundamental rights, so the answer will be USA. USA was the first country which has introduced the concept of this fundamental right, which has given fundamental rights, absolute fundamental rights to all its citizens. And if I talk about with respect to India, these fundamental rights are given to all citizens of India, are given in the Constitution of India. What it says? It says the fundamental rights of all the citizens of India are given in Constitution of India. Now there is one more thing that we need to understand. Sometimes you will be getting that this citizen word is used in the sentences. Here it is talking about citizens, that all the fundamental rights are given to citizens, but in some cases you will be finding there is a person, like this right is given to a person. Like if I talk about right to life and personal liberty, that is given in article 21. In that article they are using the word person, but in some cases you will be finding citizens. Like for an example, if I talk about article 19, it talk about freedom of speech and expression, but it is available only to citizens. So what is the meaning of when we are going to use citizen, when we are going to use person? So this bifurcation we are going to understand with an example. Suppose if I talk about this right to life and personal liberty that is given in article 21, so this is available to all the person. What does that mean? That means if anybody who is either citizen of India or they are foreign nationals, this right to life and personal liberty is available to all of them. What is the difference? Citizen is a person who belong to the country, like which who belong to India or whatever country they are. If somebody who is coming from foreign, so that person will not be considered as citizen of India. They are foreign nationals, so they are included in the definition of person. This is the thing. So sometimes when article is given to citizens, that means that particular fundamental right is only available to the citizen of the particular country. Like if I talk about article 19, it is only available to citizens of India. If I talk about public right to equal opportunities in public places, this is the article which is specifically available to citizens of India. If I talk about article 29 and 30, right to religious minorities, this is only available to citizens of India. But there are certain articles, right to like equality before law, which is given in article 14. We'll be understanding all of that. This is just an overview for your understanding to how you are going to understand the language of the constitution. In some cases, in some articles, when you are getting person, that means this right is available to all the persons. Then in some cases when you are getting citizens in the article, that means this particular article is only available to the citizens of India. So let's read the language. It says the fundamental rights of the citizen of India are given in the Constitution of India. These fundamental rights are mentioned in the part 3 of the Constitution of India. Now this is just an structure of Constitution of India. The first part of Constitution of India are what? First part of Constitution of India is this preamble, which we discussed in the first thing. Then after that there are certain parts. This part one which deals with the state, the second part deals with the citizenship, then the third part talks about fundamental rights. Then after that fourth part we'll be discussing, that will be talking about DPSP, that is directive principles of state policies. So if I talk about the first thing is preamble, which we read in the Constitution of India, then there are parts in which articles are given. Then after that schedules are there. We'll be understanding at the end of this series. Before that, so this fundamental rights are given in which part of Indian Constitution? It is given in part 3 or the chapter 3 of Indian Constitution. Then after that, the Constitution of India is not only provides fundamental rights to citizens but also mentions the limitation of those rights. Now if I talk about fundamental rights, is it an absolute right or it is a qualified right? So before that you need to understand what is absolute right and what is qualified rights. Absolute rights are those rights which has no limitation. Like if you are having absolute authority, that means you don't need to ask anybody about the matter. But in case if you are like these rights, there are certain limitations on these rights, no? So these fundamental rights are qualified rights. Why they are qualified rights? Because there are certain reasonable ground of restrictions which are implied on these articles. Like for an example, you are having this freedom of speech and expression, right? This article is what? This is not an absolute freedom. Right to life and personal liberty, maybe it can be a discussion. But if I talk about particularly about Article 19, what it says, freedom of speech and expression. But on the name of freedom of speech and expression, you cannot say anything. You cannot do defamation. You cannot do contempt of court. There are many things. You cannot violate the public policy. You cannot, so these are what? These are limitations. There is a right, but there is a duty also. So this is the meaning of that. Then after that, the Constitution of India not only provides fundamental rights, but there are certain reasonable grounds of restriction which are being imposed on these rights. We'll be understanding each and everything in a very detailed manner. Then after that, there are 6 fundamental rights which are given, are listed. What are these fundamental rights? The first kind of right is right to equality. Now when we talk about right to equality, so the rights that are given, like there are many kind of, like equality before law can be there. There should not be any kind of discrimination, equal opportunities in public employment, abolition of untouchability can be there, abolition of titles can be there. So these are the kind of articles that are there under the ambit of this right to equality. These articles are given in Article 14 to 18. We'll be getting all these articles, we'll be understanding all of that in a very detailed manner. Then after that, the second thing is right to freedom. Now what articles it includes? Article 19, 20, 21 and 22. In these articles we'll be understanding right to freedom, right? Then after that, right against exploitation are given in 23 and 24. Then after that, right to freedom of religion, that is given in 25, 26, 27 and 28. These articles talk about religious freedom. What kind of religious freedom is there? Then after that, there is right to constitutional remedies. Then after that, cultural and educational rights. Right to equality is given in Article 14 to 18, right? Then after that, right to freedom is given in under Article 19 to 22. Then after that, right against exploitation are given in Article 23 and 24. Then after that, right to freedom of religion is given under Article 25, 26, 27 and 28. Then after that, right to constitutional remedies is given under Article 32, which is providing 5 writs. What are these writs? We will be understanding each and every bit. Then after that, cultural and educational rights, these are given under Article 29 and 30. Now, we know that these fundamental rights are given under what? These articles are given under Part 3 of the Indian Constitution, and Part 3 starts from Article 12 and it goes till Article 35, right? Now, fundamental rights are given under this part 3 of Indian Constitution, and this starts from 12 and goes till 35, right? This is the thing that we know. But when we are understanding this bifurcation, this article is starting from 14 and this is going till 32. So now there is a question that what is article 12, what is article 13, then after that what is article 33, what is article 34, and what is article 35. What are these articles? We are going to understand all of that. Now, before, if I talk about right to equality, it is given in article 12 to article 14 to 18. These articles talk about right to equality. Then right to freedom, it is given in 19 to 22. Then after that, right against exploitation is given under article 23 and 24. Right to constitutional remedies is in 32, and cultural and educational rights are given under article 29 and 30. Then after that, if I talk about article 12, what it talks about, article 13, what it talks about. So with respect to this article 12, this is not talking about any fundamental right. This article 12 define the definition of state. What is a state? This article 12 defines that. Then after that, if I talk about article 13, article 13 is also not talking about any fundamental right. This article 13 describes that any order, any action, any legislation which is inconsistent or in derogation or derogatory to the part 3 of Indian Constitution will be declared as null and void. जब हम केशवानंदा भारती केस पढ़ेंगे तो आपको इस आर्टिकल में और क्लैरिटी आएगी, क्योंकि जो मेन टसल है वो आर्टिकल 13 और आर्टिकल 368 में होती है. बिकॉज आर्टिकल 13 सेज व्हाट, कि कोई भी ऐसा लॉ which is inconsistent with part 3 of Indian Constitution will be declared as null and void. But at the same time, article 368 talks about कि parliament can make any laws to amend the constitution, to amend by way of variation, addition or repeal any part of constitution of India. So the main tussle between article 13 and 368 we can understand from the Keshwananda Bharti case. Before that, we have understood what is article 12. It is defining the state, the definition of state. Now this state is not like UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, Jharkhand. This state is a broader term. Like if I talk about India is a state, India is a state and there are certain rules of regulation which are being made by the Parliament of India. Then there are certain territories of India where state laws are also applicable. So this is the thing that we are going to understand under article 12. Then article 13 is talking about कि आप कोई भी ऐसा law नहीं बना सकते. You cannot make any law which is inconsistent with the part 3 of Constitution of India. If you are going to make any such law, it will be declared as null and void. This is the thing that we understand in the article 13. Then after that, if I talk about article 33, 34 and 35, what are these articles? So for this understanding, article 12 to 35 all are talking about these fundamental rights, but article 33 and 34 are exception to the fundamental rights. Why this is an exception? Suppose these fundamental rights are given to all the citizens who belong to India, but there are armed forces. Armed forces doesn't come under, like armed forces are not given these all fundamental rights. Otherwise they will be getting, they are there on the borders. So they have to, in some cases they have to sacrifice their life. So if we are going to talk about what is right to life and personal liberty with respect to armed forces, there should be a provision for that now. So that's why article 33 is there, which talks about like these fundamental rights are not available, like provision which will be applicable on armed forces. This is given in article 33 of Indian Constitution. Then if I talk about article 34, article 34 talks about if suppose there is an emergency situation, if there is a if there is a different law in the territory that is applicable, so in that case these fundamental rights can be restricted. It is given under article 34, right? It talks about suppose there is a court martial or something like that. So in these cases your fundamental rights will be restricted. Now article 35, it talks about how we are going to, what is the provision to enforce all these rights. This is all given in article 33, like 35 it talks about. So before going forward, we are going to easily understand what all articles talk about and in what article it is given. This right to equality is given under 14 to 18, we already understood. Then after that, right to freedom, 19 to 22. Then after that, right against exploitation in 23 and 24. Then right to religious freedom from 25 till 28 it is given. Then after that, right to constitution remedies is given under article 32, and cultural and educational rights are given under article 29 and 30. Before that, this article 12 is not a fundamental right, it defines the state. Then after that, article 13 says any order, any action, any legislation, any amendment which is inconsistent with the part 3 of Indian constitution will be declared as null and void. Then article 33, 34 and 35, these articles talk about. 33 says if these laws, these fundamental rights will not be applicable, will not be given, like there will be restrictions in case of armed forces. Then if I talk about 34, 34 talks about these fundamental rights. If there is an emergency situation, these rights can be restricted. Article 35, what is the provision to enforce these rights, these provisions, it is all given in article 35. So this is a broad overview of these fundamental rights. Now we are going to understand in very detailed manner like what articles is talking about, what kind of right. Then after that, articles of, like here it is given, 14 to 18 covers right to equality, 19 to 22 covers right to freedom, 23 and 24 covers the right against exploitation. Then after that, 25 and 28 cover the right to freedom of religion. Cultural and educational rights are given in 29 and 30. Then after that, right to constitution remedies is given under article 32. Now what is right? Before that, whenever we are going to talk about a right, if suppose if I am having right to freedom of speech and expression, and if my right of freedom of speech and expression gets violated, what I'll be doing? There should be a provision, na? So that provision is article 32 that gives right to constitutional remedies. Whenever we talk about fundamental rights, we know that fundamental rights are what? These are justiciable rights. These are what? These rights can be enforced through the courts. We know that. But how we are going to enforce these rights? At least there should be a provision. Whenever we talk about fundamental rights, we know that these are guaranteed rights. So if we talking about guaranteed rights, there should be a person who will be providing guarantee on it, right? In general cases, if there is a guarantee on a product you are going to buy in the market, so that for that guarantee, at least there is a person who will be ensuring that. So in this case, when we are reading these fundamental rights, this guarantor is article 32, which gives right to constitutional remedies, which talks about right to constitutional remedies. Now there are total 5 risks which we'll be understanding in this article 32. The first one is habeas corpus. Then after that, we'll be understanding each and every bit. This habeas corpus, then mandamus, then after that certiorari, habeas corpus, mandamus, certiorari. Then after that, habeas corpus, mandamus, certiorari, prohibition, and quo warranto. Now what are these writs? Suppose if your right to personal life, right to life and personal liberties gets violated, so in that case at least there should be a provision, there should be a way. So there are writs that are given in case your right to life and personal liberty is being taken away by the state. So in that case you can enforce, like you can have the right of personal liberty through this by issuing this writ of habeas corpus. Now what are the provisions? We'll be understanding all of that, but before that, this is the thing that we need to understand. Now if I talk about right to equality, now they are talking about in a very detailed manner, like right to equality are given in under article 14 to 18. But before that, what is given in article 14? So article 14 talks about, we are going to understand in detail. Right to equality are given under article 14 till 18. Now if I talk about particularly this article 14, it talks about equality before law and equal protection of laws. Then after, where it is given, every citizen will be equal in front of law and every citizen of India will get equal protection of laws. Now there is a difference between both things. This is given under article 14, equality before law and equal protection of laws. Then after that, if I talk about article 15, it talks about that there should not be any kind of discrimination on the basis of race, religion, caste, sex or place of birth. This is given in which article? This is given in Article 15 of the Indian Constitution. Now here it is given, discrimination is completely prohibited. On what ground? There are certain grounds that are mentioned. Like reasonable discrimination is allowed, but discrimination of citizens is completely prohibited on ground of place of birth, sex, caste, race, religion. That means race, religion, caste, sex, place of birth. There should not be any kind of discrimination, but this is only with respect to citizens of India. That means if you are citizen of India, in that case there should not be any kind of discrimination on the basis of race, religion, caste, sex or place of birth. But this right is only available to citizens of India. If you are a foreign nationals, you will be discriminated. Now this is Article 15. Article 14 is talking about equality before law and equal protection of laws. 15. Then after that, if I talk about Article 16, Article 16 talks about equal opportunities in public employment. Like everybody, every citizen will be getting equal opportunities in public employment, that is given under Article 16. Abolition of titles is given, and abolition of untouchability is given under Article 17. Then after that, abolition of titles, it is given under. Now what are these things? We'll be understanding. Abolition of titles. There used to exist certain titles which are being abolished by Article 18. Now these all are the things that we will be understanding. These are the kind of rights which are available under the ambit of right to equality. What are these rights? If I talk about Article 14, it says equal protection of laws and equality before law. Equality before law and equal protection of laws. Article 15 talks about there should not be any kind of discrimination on the basis of race, religion, caste, sex or place of birth. If I talk about Article 16, it talks about equal opportunities in public places. Then after that, Article 17 talks about abolition of untouchability, and Article 18 talks about abolition of titles, and these are what? These are right to equality. Now we are going to understand what are right to freedom which are being given in Indian Constitution. One of the biggest example of inequality was untouchability. Like there used to exist some persons or some caste which used to be treated as untouchables. Now this is an absolute right. Untouchability cannot be practiced at any cost. So there are certain qualified rights which are there, and there are certain absolute rights are there. Absolute rights, the example is Article 17 itself. Like untouchability cannot be allowed, although there can be restrictions. Now at the times of COVID, what we are doing, we used to maintain social distancing. Now what was that? This is just an exception to this, but exceptions are there. Are certain provisions which are given for exceptions also. So this is the thing. The preamble of the Indian Constitution says that every citizen will have equal opportunities, opportunity and status. We have discussed equality in the preamble of Constitution of India also. Then after that, if I talk about right to now this right to freedom, now right to freedom, it starts with 99 and it goes till 22. What are these freedom? So if I talk about this Article 19, Article 19 talks about freedom of speech and expression. Now this Article 19 includes many kind of expressions. This is not only limited to freedom of speech and expression. There are many other things. Now what are these things? We are going to understand. When we talk about freedom of speech and expression, this involves many articles. What are these articles? We are going to understand. See, if we talk about with respect to Article 19(1)(a), it talks about right to assembly. Now, whenever many people only know that this Article 19 is only talking about freedom of speech and expression, but this is not only limited to freedom of speech and expression, because it involves right to assembly. What more it involves? This is about the first video that we already done. We have discussed about this preamble of Constitution of India. Now we are dealing with this concept of fundamental rights. Now we have already discussed this right to equality. Then after that, right to freedom of religion will be doing. Then before that, right to freedom starts with Article 19 and it goes till Article 22. What are the things that are there? As per the fundamental rights of India which are given in the Constitution of India, the freedom provides various rights. Now let's talk about this Article 19 only. Article 19 talks about right to freedom of speech and expression. Now this is not only limited to freedom of speech and expression, it can be related to anything. This is what, this is article 19(1)(a), which talks about right to freedom of speech and expression, right to assemble peacefully. This is what, this is article 19(1)(b). now you can see there is protest going on Jantar Mantar or at any place. Where this freedom coming from? This freedom is coming from because all the citizens of India are having the right of assembly, but that assembly should be a peaceful assembly. This is given under article 19(1)(b). Then after that, if I talk about 19(1)(c), it gives the freedom of right to form unions and association. That freedom is given under 19(1)(c). We'll be discussing all of that what are the consequences, what are the cases involved in these cases. Then after that, if we talk about right to life, live and settle in any part of India, we'll be dealing with that. Now right to life and personal liberty is given under article 21. We'll be doing it in a very detailed manner. Before that, right to form association or unions, that is given under 19(1)(c). Then after that, if I talk about 19(1)(d), what it talks about, okay, it is not given here now. If I talk about 19(1)(e), it talks about right to move to any part or any territory of India, but there are certain reasonable ground of restrictions also. You cannot go to, you cannot go certain borders are there. You cannot do on India Pakistan border. This is not allowed. But you are having the freedom to move to any part of India. That is given under article 19(1)(d). Then after that, if I talk about 19(1)(e), it is talking about right to live and settle in any part of India. Then after that, if I talk about what, 19(1)(f). now if you can remember finished, it used to talk about right to property, but it is being repealed by the 44th amendment that is made in 1978. So you don't need to remember all of that, but at least there used to exist the article 19(1)(f), which used to talk about right to property, which is not there now. It is repealed. It is completely repealed by the 44th amendment of Indian Constitution that is made in 1978. This is the thing. Now after that, 19(1)(g) talks about right to carry out trade, business, right to work or any occupation, right to work in any profession. Now this is also an example. Like this is what, this is a limited right that is being provided to all the citizens. Why it is limited? Because on the name of carrying out any trade, on the name of carrying out any profession, you cannot form a terrorist group. आप एक आतंकवादी नहीं बन सकते ना कि I am having the freedom to choose any occupation, so you cannot be a terrorist. You cannot be a thief or something like that. You cannot choose such kind of profession. So there are also certain reasonable ground of restrictions which are there. Now right to carry out trade or business, what does it mean? कि आप कोई भी तरह का trade कर सकते हैं. You can do any kind of business which is there, but there are certain ground of restrictions also. In some cases you cannot make nuclear bomb or something. In some cases state will practice monopoly. What are these things? We'll be understanding. This was about only article 19. Then after that, article 21, it talks about right to life and personal liberty. What are these things? We'll be understanding in the next video. Then after that, article 21(a), it talks about right to education. Now this is available to what age group? We'll be understanding all of that. Right of education. These are about right to freedom. Then after that, if I talk about right to freedom of religion, that is given under article 25 till article 28. Now what are these things? Total there are 4 articles which is given under right to freedom of religion: 25, 26, 27 and 28. These articles talk about what? These articles talk about religious freedom. Now what are these freedom? If I talk about first, article 25 talks about freedom of conscience, free profession, practice and propagation of any particular religion. This is given under, this freedom is given under article 24, not 24, 25. That 24 and 22 are right to freedom. We'll be discussing what are these articles also. Article 25 talks about freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of a particular religion. Now what does it mean? You can practice. Practice means if I am a Hindu, there are certain rituals which I am performing, like I have the freedom of doing all of that. This is the meaning of practice. Practice, then after that profess. Profess means I can communicate to everybody that this is my religion and these are the certain reasonable things which you need to follow to be the part of this religion. Then there is propagation. Propagation means what? मैं तो सबको और बोल के बता दूं कि मेरा जो रिलीजन है वो बहुत अच्छा है, आप हमारे रिलीजन को ज्वाइन कर लो. दिस इज ऑल्सो अलाउड. Freedom of conscience, profession, practice and propagation of a particular religion. Which article talks about? Article 25 talks about this freedom. Then article 26 talk about reasonable citizens are given right to manage the religious affairs. Then if I talk about 27, like freedom from paying taxes for the promotion of any religion. This is not freedom to pay taxes, this is freedom to avoid taxes. Freedom from paying taxes, which is given under article 27. Then after that 28 talks about citizen of India will have the freedom to attend religious instructions of their choice. We'll be dealing with all of that in the next video. This is just an overview of all these rights. Now we have discussed what is article 12, 14 to 18 we have discussed, 19 to 23 we have discussed, 25 to 28 we have discussed. Now there are certain cultural and educational rights which are given to what? These are given to minorities. These are known as minorities rights. Now what is a minority? We need to define now. So India as a state recognize two kind of minorities. The one is religious minority and the second one is linguistic minority. What is religious minority? If I talk about religious minorities, are those minority we know now religion. So in some cases, at some state Hindu can be a minority, in some state Muslim can be a minority, in some state other religion can be a minority. So this is a different scenario. So about, if I talk about religious minority, this religion will be taken into consideration. But if we talk about linguistic minority, in these cases, in case of linguistic minorities, that will be based on language. In some cases you will be finding that Telugu speaking people are more in their population is more as compared to Hindi speaking. So in these cases these Hindi speaking people will be minorities. So there are two kind of minorities which is being recognized by Indian state. The first one is what? The first one is linguistic minority and the second one is religious minority. So if I talk about the what are the rights that are given under cultural and education act, total there are 29 and 32 articles are there. This article 29 talks about protection of minorities. Cultural and language of the minorities will be protected. This article is known as like protection of minorities. Then after that, if I talk about article 30, it talks about minorities have the right to establish educational institutions. This is given under article 30 of the Indian Constitution. Then after that, right against exploitation are there. Now what are rights against exploitation? We have understood in the right of freedom itself, but these are what? These articles, if I talk about 19 and 21, we have understood these are what? 19 and 20 and 21. These comes under right to freedom. What are these articles? Right to freedom of speech and expression. Article 21, right to right to life and personal liberty. Then article 20 talks about three things. We'll be discussing that later, but for an idea what it talks about, there are total three articles. Article 21 20 subclause 1, 20 subclause 2, 20 subclause 3. If you are not having understanding with these articles, there is no need to worry. In the next video we'll be covering all of that, but this is for an overview that article 21 subclause 1 talks about no ex post facto law. Now this is a legal language which I am going to explain in a layman language. No ex post facto law means criminal law cannot travel back in time. If a criminal law is being made on this date, so it will be enforced prospectively, not retrospectively. What are these things? We'll be understanding. No ex post facto law, no double jeopardy. Now what does it mean? That means nobody can be twice punished for a single offense. Then after that, 20 subclause 3 talks about what? No ex post facto law, no double jeopardy, no self-incrimination. What is this no self-incrimination? This means that incrimination, you cannot give a testimony against yourself. मतलब आपके पास ये फ्रीडम है कि आपके पास राइट टू साइलेंस है. आप क्या कर सकते हो? इफ यू आर अक्यूज्ड ऑफ एन ऑफेंस बट यू आर हैविंग the right not to give testimony against yourself. This is the thing that is given under article 20 subclause 3 that we have discussed. Then these are rights against exploitation which are given under article 23 and 24. What are these articles? If I talk about with respect to article 23, it is talking about trafficking of human beings is prohibited by Constitution of India, and forced labor is also prohibited. So these are the two things that are given under Article 23. ट्रैफिकिंग ऑफ ह्यूमन बींग्स, कि अगर आप पहले की सोसाइटीज में देखेंगे स्लेव यूज्ड टू बी सोल्ड in the open market. Now this does not happen. So this is prohibited by Constitution of India. Forced labor is also prohibited. You will see, अगर कोई जेल में prisoner होता है, उसको क्या है, उसको जेल में रह करके काम करना होता है, but they are being paid for that work also. What does that mean? Forced labor is prohibited. आप किसी से force करके आप काम नहीं करा सकते. अगर if you are taking some work from a worker, you need to pay well for these labors. This is all given under Article 23 of Indian Constitution. These rights comes under the right against exploitation. Then after that, children are prohibited from the employment in hazardous activities. Children cannot be employed in hazardous activities. There is a story behind this article also, which we will be discussing in the next part. Now if I talk about right to constitutional remedies, we have discussed all these articles which are there in the Indian Constitution. Now Article 32. If you are having right to life and personal liberty, if it gets violated, what you'll be doing? If you are having right to freedom of speech and expression, if it gets violated, what you'll be doing? So this is what, this all is given under right to constitution remedies. If your rights, which is given in part 3 of Indian Constitution, gets violated, you will be having right to constitution remedies. In case your right to life and personal liberty get hampered, you can do what? You can get issued a writ of habeas corpus from the High Court. You'll be your right to life and personal liberty will be ensured. The writ is provided under this article. Then after that, if there is a person who is sitting on a chair, like suppose he is having some authority or he is not having authority, and if you want, like if you are having a doubt that person who is on the chair is not having the authority to be on the chair, in that case you can get the writ of what? The writ of Q warranto, you can get it issued. Q warranto is what? What is your authority? We'll be discussing what are all the writs that are there in the Indian Constitution. So for the time being, you can understand what is constitutional remedies. Constitutional remedies are a guarantee to the fundamental rights. If fundamental rights gets violated, in these cases total there are 5 writs which are being provided under Article 32 of Indian Constitution. You can get it issued. In what case which writ will be issued, we'll be discussing that in the next video. Total there are 5 writs. The first one is habeas corpus, the second one is mandamus, the third one is certiorari, the fourth one is prohibition, and the fifth one is Q warranto. Right? All these writs will be discussing in the upcoming video. Now this video is over. If you are having the knowledge of all these things, you can leave the session. Now after that, this is a story. Now if we talk about, there are total how many articles are there? We have already understood that. But there used to exist a right to property. Earlier it was a fundamental right. Now right to property is not a fundamental right. It is what? It is a legal right or a statutory right. This is not a fundamental right. So that's why it is being repealed by what? We have already discussed it. Now, it was 44th Amendment of the Constitution of India which declared the right to property will no longer be a fundamental right. Article 31 and 19(1)(f) were completely removed or repealed from the part 3 fundamental rights of the Constitution with the 44th Amendment. This we already discussed now, that this fundamental right used to exist before 44th Amendment, but by the 44th Amendment 1978 it was repealed. Then this is about Article 12, the definition of a state. What is the definition of a state? This definition of a state includes Government of India and Parliament of India, Government of State and Legislature of State, local authorities or any other authority within the territory of India or under the control of Government of India. What it talks about? Article 12 has defined in the Indian Constitution, but it is not talking about any fundamental right. It is only talking about the definition of the state. What is the definition of a state? That this definition of a state includes Parliament of India, Government of India, Parliament of like Legislature of a state or Government of a state. Then after that, any other authority, local authority within the territory of India or under the control outside India, under the control of Government of India, that will be considered as part of Article 12. Now what is Parliament, what is executive, legislature, government, all of that we'll be doing in the upcoming classes, in upcoming live sessions. Before that, if you like this video, you can share your opinions, you can share your views on this video. But there is, if I talk about your examinations now, this series of constitution is not only important for all those aspirants who are preparing for law entrances or judiciary. This series, if you are a citizen of India, at least you need to know now what are the rights you are having. Suppose, what is the region of this suppression? The region of suppression, the region of discrimination is unwillingness to knowing your rights. If you'll be knowing your rights, you can at least speak for yourself, you can take a stand for yourself. This is the purpose of this series. This series is not only important, this is not specifically for all these aspirants who are preparing for entrances or who are preparing for government jobs. This series is also important if you are an Indian citizen. At least you need to know what are your rights, what are your duties as a citizen. Then only you can take a stand for yourself. Let me know your opinion in the comment box. This, in the upcoming classes, we'll be understanding each and every right in a very detailed manner. Then after that, we'll be having an idea about this Constitution of India. Thank you so much for attending today's live.